The business class seat reclines fast. The tray table behind it jerks forward. A cup of water tips over. Oh my God, are you serious right now? The woman in 8D spins around. White, designer blouse, fury in her eyes. From 23C, a black teenager looks up. I'm so sorry, ma'am. The water just... Do you know how much I spend to fly? $85,000 a year, Diamond Elite since 2017. She steps into the aisle, voice rising. And they seat me in front of people who can't even sit properly? It was an accident, I apologize. Of course it was. People like you always have excuses. The woman's lip curls. Let me guess. First time flying? The girl's voice stays steady. No, ma'am. The slap happens before the sentence ends. Skin on skin. Loud enough that row 14 hears it. The girl's hand touches her burning cheek. 160 passengers see it. No one moves. Then boots hit the cabin floor. Deliberate. Military. 3 stars on the shoulder. A father arrives. 18 minutes earlier, Gate B-27 at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International smells like burnt coffee and recycled air. Taylor Grant adjusts her backpack and checks her boarding pass one more time. Seat 23C, Basic Economy, Group 7, she's 16. Honor roll every semester since 6th grade. Captain of the debate team, nervous flyer. The gate agent's voice crackles over the speaker. We'll now begin boarding Group 7 for Flight 1583 to Minneapolis-St. Paul. Taylor stands. Her phone buzzes. A text from her grandmother lights up the screen. Can't wait to see you, sweetheart. Did you remember to pack a warm jacket? Taylor smiles and types back, Boarded. See you soon. The jetway slopes downward. Her sneakers squeak on the ribbed metal floor. Through the accordion walls, she hears the muffled roar of engines on the tarmac. March 14th, 2024. 2:15 in the afternoon. Ordinary Thursday. Ordinary flight. She's made this trip twice before, last Christmas, summer before that. Both times her dad flew with her. Lieutenant General James Grant. 30 years in the Army. Currently stationed at Fort Benning. He was supposed to be on this flight, too. Military thing came up, sweetheart, he'd said over breakfast. I'll catch the morning flight tomorrow. You'll be fine. Grandma's birthday party isn't until Saturday anyway. Taylor nodded. She's flown alone before. Just not this route. Inside the aircraft, a flight attendant with tired eyes points toward the back. Keep moving, please. All the way to the rear. Business class passengers already settled in their leather seats. Legroom for days. Complimentary drinks. A woman in 8D sips champagne and scrolls through her phone. Designer handbag tucked under the seat. Diamond Elite tag on her luggage. Taylor walks past. The scent of expensive perfume mixes with airplane cleaning solution. Row 23 sits near the galley. Fabric seats, narrow armrests. The overhead bin clicks shut with a hollow thud as she stores her backpack. She slides into 23C. Window seat. The plastic shade is already down. She raises it. Gray tarmac. Baggage carts. Wing stretching out like a steel arm. In her lap, a book. The Warmth of Other Suns by Isabel Wilkerson. Required reading for AP History. She's already finished it once. Reading it again because it feels important. Stories about people who left everything behind, searching for dignity in places that promised it but didn't always deliver. The seat cushion is thin. The fabric is rough against her jeans. Nothing like the buttery leather up front. But it doesn't matter. She's going to see her grandmother. 77 years old tomorrow. The woman who raised her mom. The woman who helped raise Taylor after her mom died 3 years ago. Cancer. Lymphoma. 41 years old. Taylor blinks hard, focuses on the safety card in the seat pocket. She's read it a dozen times, still reads it again, reads. The engines spool up, that deep vibration that starts in your chest before you hear it with your ears. The cabin door seals with a pressurized hiss. A flight attendant demonstrates oxygen masks with the enthusiasm of someone who's done this 4 times today already. Taylor plugs in her earbuds. Lo-fi study beats. Nothing with lyrics, just something to smooth out the engine noise. The plane pushes back from the gate, taxis toward the runway. She's flown this route twice before, both times uneventful. She opens her book, finds her place. Chapter 7. The Great Migration. People moving north, seeking something better. The wheels leave the ground at 2:17 p.m. At 2:23 p.m., 8 minutes into the flight, the woman in row 8D reaches for the recline button. At 35,000 feet, Diane Harrison in 8D decides she needs more space. Her finger jabs the recline button. The seat flies backward, fast, aggressive. The mechanism slams into the tray table behind her, Taylor's cup tips. Water floods across the plastic surface, soaks into her jeans. The book jumps. She grabs it before it drowns. Oh no! Taylor reaches for napkins from her backpack. Diane whips around. Her face was sharp, eyes cold. Are you kidding me right now? I'm so sorry, ma'am. I didn't. You didn't what? Control yourself? Diane stands, steps into the aisle, looks down at Taylor like she's inspecting something unpleasant. Do you see this blouse? This is Burberry, $600, and now it has water on it because you can't sit still. Taylor's voice stays quiet. It was an accident. The tray table. The tray table. Diane's laugh is sharp, humorless. Let me tell you something. I've flown 200,000 miles in the last 12 months. Diamond Elite. Top tier. I know how tray tables work. She leans closer. Maybe you don't fly enough to understand airplane etiquette. A man in 11B, elderly with white hair, looks up from his magazine. Ma'am, it was clearly an accident. Diane's head snaps toward him. I'm sorry, are you involved in this? The man blinks, says nothing, looks back down. Taylor dabs at her wet jeans with a napkin. I really am sorry. I can pay for dry cleaning if... Pay for it? Diane's voice rises. You're sitting in basic economy. What are you going to pay with? Your lunch money? She scans Taylor up and down, takes in the Target jeans, the worn sneakers, the backpack with the frayed strap. I spend more on a single flight than you probably see in 6 months. From 12C, a middle-aged man named James Burton pulls out his phone. Quietly. Angles it toward the confrontation. His wife in 12B whispers, Don't get involved. He whispers back, I'm not. I'm just documenting. Across the aisle in 12A, Amanda Fisher, a nurse in scrubs heading home from a conference, does the same. In 14F, Trevor Scott, a high school teacher, taps his screen. Record. In 9D, Karen White shifts her phone to get a better angle. 4 cameras. 4 witnesses. Diane doesn't notice. She's too focused on Taylor. I can't sit in front of someone so careless, so disruptive. She looks toward the galley. Excuse me? Flight attendant? No one comes yet. The crew is busy with drink service up front. Diane turns back to Taylor. Stand up. Taylor looks up, confused. What? Stand up. I need to get something from the overhead bin. Or do I need to spell that out too? Taylor unbuckles, stands, moves into the aisle to let Diane pass. Diane doesn't move to the overhead bin. She stops, stands directly in front of Taylor. Close, invasive. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Taylor lifts her eyes, meets Diane's gaze, her voice barely above a whisper. Yes, ma'am. You need to learn some manners, some respect. Diane's finger jabs toward Taylor's chest. Doesn't touch, but close. Girls like you think you can just... Girls like me? Taylor's voice cracks slightly. Don't interrupt. Diane's hand is still raised, still pointing, still too close. From 11B, the elderly man speaks again. This is unnecessary. From 12C, James Burton says quietly, "Ma'am, she apologized. Multiple times." Diane ignores them both. Her eyes stay locked on Taylor. "You've been disrespectful from the moment I sat down. Entitled. Thoughtless." Taylor's hands shake. She clasps them together. "I've said I'm sorry. I don't know what else." Diane's hand moves. Not a point. Not a gesture. A slap. Open palm, full force. Across Taylor's left cheek. The sound cracks through the cabin like a thunderclap in a tin can. Taylor's head snaps to the side. Her hand flies to her face. The burn spreads instantly. Hot. Stinging. Humiliating. For 2 seconds, the entire cabin holds its breath. Then the whispers start. A wave rolling backward through the seats. Passengers crane their necks. Some stand slightly to see. Others pull out phones. Taylor's eyes fill. She doesn't let the tears fall. Won't give Diane the satisfaction. But her cheek blazes red. The imprint of 4 fingers is already visible. Diane smooths her blouse, steps back, returns to 8D, sits down like nothing happened. Taylor stands frozen in the aisle. 16 years old. Alone. Burning. From the galley, footsteps approach. Finally. A flight attendant. But not for the reason Taylor hopes. The flight attendant who arrives is Jennifer, 34. 8 years with the airline. Name tag polished, smile professionally neutral. She doesn't look at Diane. She looks at Taylor. "Ma'am, I'm going to need you to take your seat and calm down." Taylor's hand is still on her cheek, still standing in the aisle. I didn't do anything. She hit me." Jennifer's smile doesn't change. "Let's not make a scene. Can you please lower your voice and sit down?" "I'm not making a scene." Taylor's voice cracks. "She slapped me. Right here. People saw." From 12C, James Burton leans forward. "That's true. I saw the whole thing." "The girl did nothing wrong." Jennifer finally glances at him. Brief. Dismissive. "Sir, I appreciate your concern, but we have protocols for handling passenger disputes." "This isn't a dispute," James says. "This is assault." Jennifer's jaw tightens. She turns back to Taylor. "Miss, I understand you're upset, but I need you to return to your seat. Now." Taylor's eyes search Jennifer's face for something. Compassion, belief, anything. She finds nothing. She sits. Jennifer moves to Diane. Her voice changes, softer, almost apologetic. "Ma'am, are you all right? Do you need anything? Water? Ice?" Diane dabs at her blouse with a napkin. "I need her moved, or removed. I don't feel safe sitting in front of someone so aggressive." Taylor's head snaps up. "Aggressive? I apologized. I didn't touch you." "You see?" Diane gestures toward Taylor. "She's doing it again. Talking back. Being confrontational." Jennifer holds up a hand. "Miss, please, let me handle this." From 11B, the elderly man tries again. "This is absurd. The girl has been nothing but polite. That woman struck her." From 12A, Amanda Fisher, the nurse, nods. "I saw it too. Clear as day." From 14F, Trevor Scott, the teacher, raises his phone. "I recorded it, the whole thing." Jennifer's eyes lock onto his phone. Her professional smile vanishes. "Sir, recording other passengers without their consent violates airline policy. I'm going to have to ask you to delete that." Trevor's thumb hovers over his screen. "Are you serious?" "Company policy, sir." Jennifer's voice firms up. "Recording is prohibited. Delete the video, please." Trevor looks at Amanda, at James, at the elderly man. All 3 have their phones visible now. Jennifer's eyes sweep across them. "All of you, delete the videos, now." James Burton speaks carefully. "We're documenting a crime. You're violating passenger privacy. Jennifer counters. If you don't comply, I'll have to file a report when we land. That could result in being banned from future flights. The threat hangs in the air. Slowly, reluctantly, Trevor lowers his phone. The screen goes dark. Amanda hesitates, then does the same. Karen White in 9D turns hers over, face down on her lap. Only James Burton keeps his out. Jennifer stares at him. Sir? He meets her gaze, doesn't blink. I'll delete it when we land, after I've shown it to airport security. Jennifer's mouth becomes a thin line. That's your choice, but you've noticed. She turns back to Diane. Ma'am, we're already airborne, so I can't reseat you at this time. But I'll make a note in the incident report, and we can arrange for law enforcement to meet the aircraft when we land. Diane's eyebrows lift. Law enforcement? For me? No, ma'am. Jennifer actually looks sympathetic. For her. She nods toward Taylor. Taylor feels the floor drop out. What? For me? She's the one who... Miss, you need to stop talking. Jennifer's voice cuts like a blade. Right now, or this situation will get much worse for you. From the galley area, another flight attendant watches. Claire Bennett, 29, lead attendant. She's been listening through the intercom channel. Heard everything. Saw Jennifer arrive. Saw how this is being handled. Claire's hand hovers near the button that would let her interrupt. Correct this. Say what actually happened. Her hand drops. She turns away, returns to the forward galley, begins prepping drinks for first class, pretends she didn't see a 16-year-old girl get slapped, pretends she doesn't know exactly what's happening. Later, she'll hate herself for this moment, but right now she follows protocol. Protect the Diamond Elite member. De-escalate. Minimize liability. She's been trained for this. Page 47 of the handbook. Back in economy, Diane adjusts her position, gets comfortable, voice dripping concern. I just want to get to Minneapolis safely, without any more incidents. She looks at Taylor. Do you think you can manage that? Taylor's jaw clenches, her cheek still throbs, her eyes still burn with tears she won't shed. Yes, ma'am, she whispers. Diane smiles. Good girl. The condescension in those two words hits harder than the slap. Jennifer steps back. Everyone, please return to your seats. We'll be continuing with beverage service shortly. She looks at Taylor one final time. And miss, keep your voice down and your hands to yourself for the remainder of the flight. Taylor stares at her lap. Nods. Jennifer walks away. The cabin slowly returns to its previous hum. Engines, air circulation, muffled conversations. Someone coughs. A baby cries 3 rows up. Taylor pulls out her phone. Her hands shake. She opens her messages, finds her dad's name. Types, Dad, something happened. Can I call you? She stares at the screen, waiting for the 3 dots that mean he's typing back. Nothing. She remembers. He's probably still at Fort Benning. In a meeting. Phone off. She puts the phone away. Face down on the tray table. Still damp from the spilled water. From 12C, James Burton catches her eye. Mouths. I still have the video. Taylor doesn't respond. Doesn't know if that matters. Diane's seat reclines again. Slower this time. Deliberate. The seat back presses toward Taylor's knees. A reminder. Of who holds the power here. Of whose comfort matters. Taylor pulls her knees up. Makes herself smaller. Takes up less space, like she's supposed to. What Taylor doesn't know, what no one on this flight knows yet, is that 30,000 feet below them, at Fort Benning, Lieutenant General James Grant just got cleared from his meeting 2 hours early, and he's walking toward the airport. Fast. 14 minutes pass. Beverage service reaches row 23. Taylor declines everything, Her stomach is knotted too tight for ginger ale. From 8D, Diane's voice drifts back, loud enough to carry. Intentional. Some people just aren't raised right. My daughters would never behave that way. Manners matter. Respect matters. Taylor closes her eyes, counts to 10. Her debate coach's voice in her head. Don't engage. Don't give them the reaction they want. At 2:35 p.m., 23 minutes into the flight, the cabin door between first class and business opens. Footsteps. Not the shuffle of a businessman heading to the lavatory. Not the quick clip of a flight attendant. Something different. Measured. Deliberate. Each step landing with purpose. The sound makes people look up. Military boots have a different cadence than civilian shoes. Heavier sole, firmer strike. The kind of sound that announces authority before a word is spoken. A man moves through business class, 6'1", broad shoulders, dress blue uniform, the kind you wear for official business, for ceremonies, for moments that matter. 3 silver stars on each shoulder. Lieutenant General. The man in 7C, a corporate lawyer scrolling through emails, glances up. His spine straightens involuntarily. Old instinct. Some presence commands posture. In 6A, a woman nudges her husband. Whispers, "Is that a general?" The general doesn't look left or right. His eyes are fixed on something toward the rear of the aircraft. His jaw is set. His hands loose at his sides, controlled, calm, but moving fast. Diane, still reclined in 8D, doesn't notice. She's texting someone, complaining about her flight, about the girl behind her, about having to sit near those people. The general passes row 8, passes row 11, row 12, row 14. Passengers turn in their seats, watch him. The way you watch a storm moving across a plain. Inevitable, powerful, impossible to ignore. He stops at row 23. Taylor is staring out the window, trying to disappear into the clouds. A hand settles on her shoulder, gentle, unmistakable. She turns, looks up. Her breath catches. "Dad?" Lieutenant General James Grant looks down at his daughter, takes in the red mark still visible on her left cheek, the wet eyes she's been fighting, the way she's made herself small in a seat she paid for. His voice is quiet, only for her. "Hey, sweetheart. You're supposed to land tomorrow." Her voice breaks. "How are you?" "Meeting wrapped early. Caught the standby list. Got lucky." His thumb brushes her shoulder. Once. Twice. "You okay?" She nods, then shakes her head, then nods again. Can't find words. James straightens, turns. His eyes sweep the surrounding rows, land on Diane, who has finally noticed. She's sitting up now, staring. Her phone was forgotten in her lap. Her eyes move from the stars on his shoulders to his face, to the insignia on his chest, to Taylor, and back to his face. The cabin goes quiet. Even the engine noise seems to dim. James doesn't raise his voice. Doesn't need to. "I'd like to understand what happened here." Diane's mouth opens, closes, opens again. The woman who spent 20 minutes telling a teenage girl how important she was, how much she spent, how much she mattered, now can't find a single word. She swallows. "There was an incident. Your daughter spilled. My daughter has a name." His tone doesn't change. Still calm, still measured. But the words land like stones. "Taylor." Diane blinks. "Taylor. Right. Taylor spilled water on me. I reacted." James looks at Taylor's cheek. The handprint is still visible. At his daughter's trembling hands. He looks back at Diane. "You reacted by striking a minor." It's not a question. Diane's face flushes. It wasn't. She was being disrespectful." From the galley, Jennifer appears. Finally, notice the uniform. The stars. Her professional mask slips for half a second. "Sir, is there a problem?" James doesn't look at her. Keeps his eyes on Diane. "Is there?" Diane shrinks back into her seat. The woman who demanded law enforcement meet the aircraft, who threatened a 16-year-old, who spent 200,000 miles a year believing her money made her untouchable. She looks at the stars, looks at James's face, looks at the passengers watching. "No," she whispers. "No problem." James nods once, sits down in the empty seat beside Taylor. 23D, middle seat, meant for nobody, now occupied by a 3-star general who just changed his entire day for his daughter. He doesn't say anything else, doesn't need to. The power in the cabin has shifted, completely. Diane turns forward, doesn't recline her seat again, doesn't say another word for the remaining hour and 40 minutes to Minneapolis. Jennifer retreats to the galley, picks up the intercom, whispers to Claire. "We have a situation." Claire's voice crackles back. "What kind of situation?" "The girl in 23C, her father just boarded. He's a lieutenant general." Silence on the line. Then, "Oh." Just that. "Oh." Because they both know what this means. What happens next. What's coming when they land. The flight continues. Smooth air, clear skies, no turbulence. But everything has changed. The flight lands at 4:02 p.m. Gate C-14. Minneapolis, St. Paul International. Diane Harrison is first off the plane, grabs her bag, gone before most passengers unbuckle. Taylor and James wait. Let the crowd thin. Walk together through the jetway. Airport police wait at the gate. 2 officers. Jennifer stands beside them. Talking. Gesturing. The older officer steps forward. "Sir, we received a report of an incident." James nods. "Yes, my daughter was assaulted. I'd like to file a report." The officer blinks, looks at Jennifer, back to James. "That's not what we were told, sir." James pulls out his phone. "Then let me clarify. I have witness statements, video evidence. Would you like to see them?" During the flight, James had moved quietly through the cabin, spoken to James Burton in 12C, Amanda Fisher in 12A, Trevor Scott in 14F, Harold Jenkins in 11B. All gave contact information. 3 airdropped videos. The officer's notepad comes out. "Let's start over." 2 hours later, Airport Hilton, police report filed, witness statements documented. James makes a phone call. Attorney Sarah Williams answers on the second ring. 35, Georgetown Law, 12 years specializing in civil rights, 3 successful airline lawsuits. "General Grant, I've been expecting your call." Taylor tells her everything. The water, the accusations, the slap, the crew's response. Sarah listens. Then, "Taylor, this will get ugly. Media, depositions. People will lie about you. Are you ready?" Taylor looks at her dad. He nods. "Yes, ma'am." "Good. Send me everything." By March 20th, Sarah sits in her D.C. office reviewing discovery documents. What she finds makes her jaw tighten. Receipt number 4, Diane's complaint. History. The airline's customer service database reveals a pattern. Diane Harrison, member since 2017. Diamond Elite since 2018. 11 formal complaints, 2019 to 2024. May 2019, requested seat change. Uncomfortable next to a passenger who doesn't speak English. The passenger spoke Portuguese. Resolution. Diane moved. 5,000 bonus miles. August 2020. Complained about rude flight attendant. The attendant was black. Resolution. Employee coached. Diane given 10,000 apology miles. January 2021. Demanded Muslim passenger be rescreened. Security found nothing. Resolution. Diane upgraded to first class on the next flight. March 2022. Complained Asian American passenger spoke too loudly. Decibel test showed normal conversation. Resolution. Passenger asked to quiet down. Diane received drink vouchers, 3 more in 2023, 2 in early 2024. 9 of 11 involved passengers of color. Every single time, Diane compensated. Passenger blamed or removed. Sarah leans back. They knew. They always knew. Receipt number 5. Internal emails. The subpoena pulls corporate communications. November 4th, 2023. Brian Foster, Regional Manager, to Customer Service Team. Ms. Harrison is top tier. Annual spend $85K. Lifetime miles 2.3 M. Handle her complaints with extreme sensitivity. Approve compensation within reason. Priority is retention. Document minimally to avoid liability. January 12, 2024. Brian Foster, to Flight Operations. Per corporate. When conflicts arise between fare classes, prioritize retaining higher-value customer. Diamond Platinum members are 37% of profit despite being 8% of passengers. Handle accordingly. March 14, 2024, 5:47 p.m. Kevin Morris, Supervisor, to Jennifer. Revise your incident report. Remove physical altercation and struck minor. Replace with verbal dispute de-escalated by crew. We don't need FAA scrutiny. Revised report due end of shift. Mwah. Sarah highlights the last email, prints it, pins it to her board. Cover up, in writing. Receipt number 6, revenue data. Internal accounting shows the math. Diane Harrison, 2017-2024, $340,000 total spend. Diamond Elite benefits include enhanced dispute resolution priority. Translation, Diane wins, regardless of facts. Taylor Grant's ticket, $127. Basic economy, no status. In the algorithm, Diane is worth 2,677 Taylors. Receipt number 7, the edited report. Discovery produces both versions. The airline didn't delete the original, just buried it. Version 1, Jennifer, 2:47 p.m. in flight. Physical altercation row 823. Passenger 8D struck minor passenger 23C on face. Multiple witnesses. Cause, spilled water when 8D reclined. 23C apologized repeatedly. 8D verbally aggressive, then physical. Recommend security meet aircraft. Version 2. Submitted to FAA, 6:30 p.m. Verbal dispute between 8D and 23C regarding personal space. Both counseled. De-escalated. No injuries. No action required. Metadata doesn't lie. Original, 2:47 p.m. Edit, 6:30 p.m. Editor, Kevin Morris. Same supervisor who ordered the change. Witness affidavits. By March 22nd, Sarah has 4 sworn statements. James Burton. I saw everything. Unprovoked assault. The crew blamed the victim. Amanda Fisher. As a mandated reporter, I don't understand why airlines aren't. That girl was attacked. Trevor Scott. I break up student fights. This wasn't a fight. This was an adult assaulting a child. Harold Jenkins. 40 years flying. Never seen anything like this. The attacker got treated like royalty. 4 strangers. 4 cameras. 1 truth. Sarah calls James on March 23rd. General, once we file, there's no going back. They'll come after you. After Taylor. Leak stories. Unlimited resources. James's voice is steady. Counsel, I've been shot in 3 countries. I've lost soldiers under my command. None of that scared me like watching my daughter get hit and blamed for it. Pause. File the lawsuit. Sarah files March 24th. Federal court. Civil rights violation. Assault. Corporate negligence. Systemic discrimination. Damages. to be determined at trial. She's not just building a case about one slap, she's exposing a system that chose profit over people. Again and again and again. The pattern emerges. Sarah creates a timeline, projects it on her office wall. 2019 to 2024. 11 incidents. Same passenger, same airline, same response pattern. Complaint filed. Passengers of color blamed or removed. Diane Harrison compensated. No investigation. No consequences. No change. Until Taylor Grant. Until a 3-star general boarded that plane. Until someone finally had the power to fight back. Sarah prints out the training manual excerpt Brian Foster referenced in his email. Requests the full document. The airline's lawyers object. Judge orders production. It arrives March 26th. Page 47 will change everything. But that's still 2 weeks away. First, the airline has to respond to the lawsuit. They do. March 25th. Not with an apology, with a declaration of war. Do you think 11 complaints are enough to prove a pattern? Or will the airline find a way to explain it away? Comment your thoughts below. This is where it gets ugly. March 28th. 4 days after the lawsuit. The counterattack comes through the media first. Receipt number 8. The planted article. Daily Buzz publishes at 6:42 a.m. The headline explodes across social platforms. Military father intimidates passenger mid-flight. Family cries racism after teen's aggressive behavior. The article rewrites reality. Diane Harrison, 43, mother of 2, describes a terrifying experience aboard Flight 1583. A teenage girl became violent when I asked for basic courtesy, Harrison says. When I defended myself, her father, a high-ranking officer, used his position to threaten me. It gets worse. Sources say the teenager has behavioral issues at school. Lieutenant General Grant allegedly leveraged military rank to intimidate civilians. He walked through that cabin like he owned it, an anonymous flight attendant reported. Passengers were scared. Zero mention of the slap, the videos, Diane's complaint history. Just lies wrapped in words like allegedly and sources say. A photo accompanies it. James in uniform, cropped from a DoD press release. Caption: Officer accused of intimidating civilians. By 9 a.m., 400,000 shares. Sarah traces the source. The anonymous tipster used an IP registered to Bluestone Communications, a PR firm, on the airline's retainer. The attack was purchased. Receipt number 9, digital assault. Taylor's Instagram floods with hate, 1,200 messages in 48 hours. Your dad should be discharged. Entitled brat playing victim. You'll get what you deserve. 47 are death threats. Specific. Graphic. One describes finding her at school. Taylor stops reading after that. James's military email gets 300 messages. Slurs. Accusations of weaponizing rank. Calls for his removal. In Minneapolis, someone spray paints Taylor's grandmother's garage. Hateful words. 2 nights later, brick through the window. Note attached, tell your granddaughter to drop it. FBI investigates. Threats against military officers are federal crimes. Some IPs trace to bot farms. Eastern Europe, paid harassment. Others are domestic. Real people, real hatred. Taylor breaks. She tries school, March 30th. The hallway goes silent when she enters. Not good silence. Watching silence. Someone printed the Daily Buzz article, taped copies everywhere. Her debate coach pulls her aside. Maybe take a few days. Let this settle. Let what settle? I didn't do anything. I know, but parents are calling. School board is getting pressure. Taylor leaves before the 3rd period. Doesn't return. The military inquiry. April 3rd. Official notification arrives. U.S. Army Inspector General, Alleged misuse of military authority. Anonymous complaint through proper channels. Allegation: Lieutenant General Grant improperly used rank to intimidate civilian passenger, bringing disrepute upon armed forces. Standard procedure. But this is different. This could stall promotion, mark his record, stain 30 years of service. His CO calls. Jim, did you threaten anyone? No, sir. I asked what happened. Calmly. Did you identify as a general? I wore dress blues, sir. Just came from the ceremony. Did you use your rank? James pauses. If my uniform intimidated someone who assaulted a child, that's not misuse. That's the consequence. I believe you. But this runs its course. Legal advises no public statements. James looks at Taylor on the couch. Hasn't eaten properly in days. Sir, I won't stay silent while they destroy my daughter. Your choice, but it complicates things. The counter lawsuit, April 5th. Morrison and Klein, LLP files for Diane. Defamation, emotional distress, false accusation, demand, $2.5 million, plus a public apology, plus Taylor's permanent silence. Press conference. Diane at the table, makeup perfect, tissue ready. Her attorney speaks. Ms. Harrison is a devoted mother vilified by false narrative. She acted in self-defense. Now she's crucified because a powerful family manipulates the system. Reporter. The videos show she struck a minor. Attorney. Context matters. My client's perception of threat is valid. Videos don't show what happened before. Reporter. What about 11 prior complaints involving passengers of color? Unrelated. We won't dignify baseless accusations. Diane speaks, voice trembling. I just want my life back. I'm not a monster. I'm a mother who made a split-second decision in a frightening situation. Flawless performance. Sarah watches from her office, calls James. They're good. What do we do? Don't blink. Keep building. Taylor wants to quit. Sarah closes her eyes. Let me talk to her. Taylor's voice comes on, small, broken. Ms. Williams, they want you to quit. That's the strategy. Overwhelm you, exhaust you. But if you stop, this happens to the next girl, and the next. I'm 16, I can't do this. Give me 1 week. If you still want out, I'll respect it. 1 week. Silence. Okay? 1 week. April 8th. Taylor hasn't left the house in 5 days. The internet decided. She's guilty. Her father's guilty. The lawsuit's a scam. Then, April 12th. An email arrives. Subject: I'm sorry I didn't speak sooner. Sender: Claire Bennett, flight attendant, lead crew in 1583. The woman who watched everything, who said nothing. Until now. Taylor's bedroom door stays closed for 3 days straight. James sits outside it, back against the wall, coffee going cold in his hand. Taylor, talk to me. Silence. He tries again. Sweetheart, please. From inside, her voice comes muffled, raw. They're right, Dad. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I... Stop! His voice cuts through the door, gentle but firm. Don't let them rewrite what happened. But what if... Taylor, open the door. 10 seconds pass. Then the lock clicks. She stands there. Hasn't slept in 48 hours. Eyes swollen. Still wearing the same clothes from 2 days ago. I just wanted to visit Grandma. Her voice cracks. That's all. Why is this happening? James has no answer. Has spent 30 years leading soldiers, giving orders, solving problems. Can't solve this. He opens his arms. She collapses into them. 16 years old and the world is crushing her. They sit on the floor. Her room is dark except for the strip of light from the hallway. The school called, James says quietly. The principal suggested homeschooling. For your safety. Taylor pulls back. They're kicking me out? No, suggesting. Because parents are complaining. Because the board is getting pressure. From who? People who read one article and decide you're guilty. She draws her knees to her chest. What about your inquiry? James exhales slowly. Still ongoing. The Inspector General wants a formal interview next week. What happens if they decide against you? Could be a letter of reprimand. Could delay promotion. Could be nothing. Could be your career. He doesn't deny it. Taylor's hands shake. This is my fault. If I had just stayed quiet. If you hadn't what? Let someone hit you and say nothing? He turns her face toward him. That's not who you are. That's not who I raised you to be. But look what it's costing you. James is quiet for a long moment. Then he stands, walks to her desk, opens his laptop, pulls up his email, shows her the Inspector General notification, then shows her the threatening messages, the hate mail, the accusations, then he closes the laptop. You see all that? She nods. Every word is worth it. His voice doesn't waver. Every consequence, every inquiry, worth it. How can you say that? Because 30 years ago, I put on this uniform to protect people who can't protect themselves. I've done that in combat, in peacetime, in 3 countries. He kneels beside her. But the most important person I've ever protected is sitting right here. Taylor's eyes fill again. What if we lose? Then we lose standing up, not on our knees. She leans against him. They sit in silence. The house is quiet around them. Outside, a car door slams. Neighbor coming home. Normal life continues while theirs falls apart. James's phone buzzes. He ignores it. It buzzes again. Taylor pushes him gently. Answer it. He checks the screen. Unknown number. Almost dismisses it. Then sees the email notification below it. From Claire.Bennett. 95@gmail.com. Subject, I'm sorry I didn't speak sooner. His thumb hovers over it. What is it? Taylor asks. James opens the email, reads the first 3 lines. His expression changes. Dad? He hands her the phone. Taylor reads, My name is Claire Bennett. I was the lead flight attendant on your flight March 14th. I watched what happened. I did nothing. I've spent 3 weeks hating myself for that. I can't stay silent anymore. I have information, evidence, things the airline doesn't want you to know. I'll testify. I'll break my NDA if I have to. They can sue me. I don't care. What happened to you was wrong, and I'm done protecting people who profit from wrong. Please call me. Below the message, a phone number, an address, and 3 attached files. Taylor looks up at her father. For the first time in days, something besides despair crosses her face. Is this real? James scrolls through the attachments, audio files, internal crew communications, documentation. Yeah. He stands, pulls out his phone. This is real. He dials Sarah Williams. She answers immediately. General? We just got an email. From the lead flight attendant. She's ready to talk. Silence on the line. Then Sarah's voice, sharp with focus. Don't touch anything. Don't respond yet. I'm coming to you. I'll be there in 4 hours. She pauses. This changes everything. Taylor is still on the floor, still holding James's phone, still reading Claire's words. I'm done protecting people who profit from wrong. She looks up at her father. Are we going to be okay? James doesn't lie to her, never has. I don't know yet, but we're not alone anymore. Taylor stands, walks to her window, opens the curtain for the first time in 3 days. Late afternoon sun floods in. April light. Still cold, but getting warmer. She takes a breath. The first full breath in 72 hours. Okay, she says. Quiet, but steady. 1 more week. Receipt number 10. Claire Bennett breaks silence. April 13th. Sarah Williams drives to Minneapolis. Meets Claire Bennett at a coffee shop 3 blocks from Claire's apartment. Claire is 29. 7 years with the airline. Lead attendant for 2. Dark circles under her eyes. Hands wrapped around a cup she hasn't touched. I signed an NDA, she says. First words. They'll sue me for this. Sarah sets her recorder on the table. They might. Are you sure? Claire nods. I haven't slept since that flight. Every time I close my eyes, I see that girl's face. The way she looked at me. Like I could help. Like I should help. But you didn't. No. Claire's voice drops. I followed protocol. Protected the Diamond member. Minimized the incident. Did exactly what I was trained to do. She looks up. And I hate myself for it. Sarah presses the record. Tell me everything. Claire does. 90 minutes. No breaks. The internal communication channel. Jennifer calling from the economy, reporting the slap. Claire's supervisor cutting in immediately. Diamond Elite involved? Handled delicately. The instruction to revise the incident report. The pressure to make it disappear. The training they all received. Page 47. Revenue tier conflict resolution. Protect high-value customers. Always. When Claire finishes, Sarah has 17 pages of notes. I'll file a sworn affidavit, Claire says. I'll testify in court, whatever you need. You'll lose your job. I know. Claire's jaw sets. But I can get another job. I can't get another conscience. Receipt number 11. The passenger coalition word spreads. Social media does what it does best. Amplifies. James Burton from 12C posts the full video on Twitter. Unedited. 40 seconds. Clear audio. Clear visuals. The slap. The aftermath. Jennifer blaming Taylor. Caption. I was there. This is what really happened. Hashtag justice for Taylor. Within 6 hours, 800,000 views. Amanda Fisher shares her nursing perspective. I'm a mandated reporter. I see abuse. I report it. Why doesn't an airline have the same obligation? Trevor Scott writes a thread. Teacher's voice, measured, devastating. I've broken up dozens of student conflicts. This wasn't a conflict. This was an adult assaulting a child while the system watched. Harold Jenkins, 71 years old, records a video from his living room. I fought in Vietnam. I've seen combat. And I've never felt as disgusted as I did watching that crew protect the wrong person. By April 15th, 43 passengers from Flight 1583 sign an open letter, published in the Washington Post. We witnessed injustice at 35,000 feet. We watched a teenager be assaulted. We watched the system protect her attacker. We are not staying silent. The signatories include 2 physicians, 3 teachers, a pastor, 5 parents, a retired judge, diverse ages, diverse races, unified voice. The hashtag goes viral, hashtag Justice for Taylor trends on Twitter. Not paid, not promoted, organic. 2.3 million tweets in 72 hours. WNBA players post support. Authors, musicians, regular people who've felt invisible in systems designed to ignore them. A GoFundMe appears, not created by Taylor's family, created by a stranger in Oregon who read the story. Legal fees for Taylor Grant. $180,000 in 5 days. Sarah calls James. Turn on the news. CNN is covering it. MSNBC, even Fox. The story has broken through. Taylor watches from the couch, sees her name trending, sees thousands of strangers saying they believe her. She cries, but different tears this time. Relief, not defeat. James sits beside her. You're not alone, sweetheart. You never were. Taylor's phone buzzes. Text from her debate team captain. We're with you. All of us. Come back when you're ready. Another text. From a classmate she barely knows. What happened to you was wrong. I'm sorry people didn't believe you. I do. More messages. Dozens. Flooding in. Her grandmother calls. Baby, I'm so proud of you. Taylor's voice cracks. I didn't do anything, Grandma. You stood up. That's everything. That night, Taylor sleeps. First full night since March 14th. But at 3:47 a.m., Sarah Williams receives an email. Anonymous sender. Subject, you'll want this. One attachment. PDF, 127 pages. Flight Attendant Crew Handbook, 2023. Internal use only. Sarah opens it, scrolls to page 47, read 3 paragraphs. Her hand goes to her mouth. Oh my God. This isn't just evidence. This is the smoking gun. Receipt number 12, the smoking gun. Sarah Williams doesn't sleep after opening that PDF, reads it 3 times, highlights, cross-references, verifies metadata. The document is authentic. Internal airline publication. Distributed January 2024 to 12,000 crew members. Flight Attendant Crew Handbook, 2023. Revenue Management Integration, page 47. Section 4.7. Revenue Tier Conflict Resolution Protocol. The language is clinical, corporate, devastating. When conflicts arise between passengers of different fare classes, crew will prioritize de-escalation methods that retain the higher-value customer. Diamond Elite and Platinum members represent 37% of annual revenue, despite comprising only 8% of passenger volume. Resolution strategies must reflect this economic reality. It continues. In disputes involving Diamond Platinum passengers, offer immediate seat relocation, complimentary upgrades, or on-the-spot compensation. Document incidents with minimal detail to reduce liability exposure. Phrase reports as passenger preference issues rather than conflicts whenever possible. In disputes involving basic economy passengers, request compliance with crew instructions. If a passenger remains non-compliant, removal from aircraft is authorized per FAA regulation. Document thoroughly to establish cause for removal. Page 51 makes it explicit. Ambiguous situations. Defer to passenger with higher lifetime customer value. Corporate legal will support crew decisions that prioritize revenue retention. When in doubt, protect the asset. Protect the asset. Not the person. The asset. Sarah sits back. The airlines didn't just tolerate discrimination, they systematized it, wrote it down, trained 12,000 employees to implement it. In writing, with page numbers, with corporate legal's blessing. She calls James at 6:15 a.m., doesn't apologize for the hour. I need you and Taylor in my office, today. This changes everything. The press conference, April 18th. Sarah holds a press conference. National media. Packed room. She projects page 47 onto a screen behind her, lets reporters read it themselves. The room goes silent, then erupts. They're admitting to a 2-tier system? Is this legal? How long has this policy been active? Sarah's voice cuts through. This manual was distributed in January 2024, updated from previous versions. The airline has operated under revenue prioritization protocols for at least 5 years, possibly longer. She clicks to the next slide. Email from Brian Foster. The one telling supervisors to handle Diamond members delicately and document minimally. Next slide. The edited incident report. Version 1 versus version 2. This isn't about one passenger, one flight, one slap. Sarah's voice is steel. This is about a corporation that built discrimination into its operating procedures, that trained employees to value money over human dignity, that put a price tag on justice and decided a 16-year-old girl wasn't worth protecting. A reporter stands. What's your ask? Full policy reform, independent oversight, compensation for every passenger subjected to this protocol. Sarah pauses. And criminal investigation into obstruction of federal reporting. Another reporter. The airline's response? Right on cue, Sarah's phone buzzes. Statement from the airline's PR team. She reads it aloud. The referenced training materials are outdated and do not reflect current policy. We are committed to treating all passengers with equal respect and dignity. Sarah looks up. This document is dated January 2024. 3 months ago. We pulled metadata. It was actively distributed to crew tablets as recently as March 10th, 4 days before Taylor Grant was assaulted. She holds up her phone. They're not admitting fault. They're lying. Again. Receipt number 13. Federal intervention, April 21st. 3 days after Sarah's press conference, the Federal Aviation Administration issues a statement. Notice of investigation. MRFAA 2024-891. The FAA has opened a formal inquiry into alleged discriminatory passenger management protocols at airline name. Investigation will review training materials, incident reporting procedures, and complaint handling practices from 2019 to present. Potential violations include failure to maintain a safe operating environment and obstruction of mandatory incident reporting. Penalties listed: fines up to $25,000 per violation. Potential route suspensions. Mandatory policy overhaul. The airline's stock drops 11% in 2 hours. Within 24 hours, 3 more passengers file lawsuits. Different airlines, similar stories. The floodgates open. Senator Elizabeth Warren calls for congressional hearings. If one airline has a pay-to-discriminate policy, how many others do? Taylor watches the news with her father, sees her case becoming something bigger, a movement, a reckoning. Dad, did we do this? James squeezes her hand. You did this, by refusing to disappear. That night, the airline's CEO released a video statement. Damage control, too late. But Sarah knows the real battle is still ahead. May 8th, Federal Courthouse. Preliminary injunction hearing. Diane Harrison will have to testify. Under oath. On record. With videos playing. With training manuals entered as evidence. With 43 witnesses ready to contradict every word. Sarah closes her laptop. Looks at Taylor sitting across from her. Ready? Taylor nods. Ready. Receipt number 14. The Reckoning, May 8th. U.S. District Court. Northern District of Georgia. Judge Patricia Moore presiding. 61 years old. 20 years on the bench. Reputation for zero tolerance of theatrical bullshit. The courtroom smells like wood polish and old law books. 47 people in the gallery. Every major outlet has a reporter present. Taylor sits beside Sarah. James behind them in civilian clothes. Dark suit. No uniform. Sarah's advice: let them see the father, not the general. Across the aisle, Diane Harrison. 3 attorneys from Morrison and Klein. Expensive suits. Confident postures. Not for long. Judge Moore enters. Everyone stands. Be seated. We're here for preliminary injunction and evidentiary hearing in Grant v. Harrison and National Airways. Ms. Williams, call your first witness. Sarah stands. The defense, Your Honor. Ms. Diane Harrison. Diane's lead attorney objects. Your Honor, this is highly irregular. Overruled. This is my courtroom. Ms. Harrison, take the stand. Diane walks forward. heels clicking on marble, hand on the Bible, swears to tell the truth. Sarah approaches. No notes. Doesn't need them. Ms. Harrison, did you strike Taylor Grant on March 14th aboard Flight 1583? Diane's voice is practiced, sympathetic. I reacted defensively to an aggressive situation. That's not what I asked. Did you strike her? Yes or no? Yes. But she... Thank you. You've confirmed the assault of a minor. Sarah doesn't pause. You stated in your deposition that Taylor was verbally aggressive. What did she say that was aggressive? Diane blinks. She was rude, disrespectful. Quote her exact words. I don't remember exact. You remember feeling threatened enough to hit her, but you don't remember what she said. She had a tone. Sarah plays the video. James Burton's footage. Audio clear. Taylor's voice. I'm so sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to... Sarah stops it. That's aggressive? Diane shifts. You don't understand the context. Help me understand. You told the police she spilled water on you deliberately. Yes. Sarah displays the video. Different angle. Shows the seat reclining, the tray table jerking, physics causing the spill. Where's the deliberate action, Ms. Harrison? Silence. Sarah continues. You told Daily Buzz that Taylor became violent. Define violent. She was confrontational. By apologizing? By offering to clean up? Sarah's voice sharpens. Or by existing while black in your proximity? Objection! Diane's attorney jumps up. Judge Moore. Rephrase, Ms. Williams. Sarah nods. Ms. Harrison, you've filed 11 complaints with this airline since 2019, correct? I'm a frequent flyer. Sometimes service is poor. 9 of those 11 complaints involved passengers of color. Coincidence? Diane's face flushes. I don't keep track of people's races. Sarah pulls out the complaint records, reads them aloud. Each one. The patterns are impossible to deny. Diane's answers start contradicting. First, she says she barely touched Taylor. Video shows a full force slap. Then she claims she feared for her safety. Video shows Taylor seated, not moving. She insists she asked politely for courtesy. Witnesses state she was verbally abusive from the start. She swears she didn't know the girl's age. Taylor's booking showed minor designation. 7 contradictions. 7 lies exposed. By the time Sarah finishes, Diane is sweating, makeup cracking. Sarah turns to the airline's attorney. Your client trained employees to prioritize Ms. Harrison because she's Diamond Elite, correct? The attorney stands, clears his throat. Your Honor, we acknowledge that certain training materials contained unfortunate phrasing. Unfortunate? Sarah projects page 47 on the screen. Protect the asset. That's unfortunate phrasing. We've since revised. When? Before or after this lawsuit? The attorney looks at his shoes. After. So for 5 years, you operated under a policy that told crew to value passengers by revenue, to document incidents minimally, to remove basic economy passengers while protecting Diamond members. Yes or no? Long pause. Yes. The courtroom erupts. Judge Moore's gavel cracks 3 times. Order! She looks at Diane. At the airline's attorneys. At the evidence scattered across screens and tables. I've heard enough. Her voice could cut glass. Preliminary injunction is granted. National Airways is prohibited from using the revenue tier as a factor in conflict resolution, effective immediately. She turns to Diane. Ms. Harrison, you are banned from National Airways pending resolution of criminal charges the DA may wish to file. Diane's face goes white. Judge Moore continues. This court will not tolerate systematic discrimination disguised as customer service. Ms. Grant, you and your father have shown remarkable courage. This country owes you both. Gavel falls. Final. Outside, reporters swarm. Taylor doesn't speak. Doesn't need to. Her silence says everything. 6 months later. Diane Harrison settles. Undisclosed amount. Sources report $750,000. She signs an NDA prohibiting her from discussing the case. Banned permanently from national airways. 2 other airlines follow suit. Her social media goes dark. Her name, when Googled, brings up only one story now. The one she can't erase. National Airways pays $4.2 million in FAA fines. CEO Richard Hayes resigns. The board calls it mutual decision. Everyone knows better. Page 47 is deleted. The entire training program was rewritten. Claire Bennett helps write it. She was fired, then reinstated after public outcry. Now she's senior training supervisor. Teaches the crew that passengers are people first, always. The Army Inspector General dismisses all charges against James Grant. Letter of commendation added to his file. Exemplary conduct in defense of family and values. Taylor returns to school in September. Senior year. Still captain of the debate team. Applications to Howard, Spelman, Georgetown. Essay topic. What happens when systems fail and people refuse to stay silent? She uses the settlement money to establish the Taylor Grant Scholarship for students who've faced discrimination and fought back. Some slaps echo louder than others. This one echoed through boardrooms and federal agencies, through policy manuals and congressional hearings, through 11 million passengers who now fly under fairer skies. Because one 16-year-old girl refused to disappear. Because her father wore 3 stars and showed up. Because strangers became witnesses. Witnesses became allies. Allies became a movement. Dignity isn't negotiable. Neither is justice. Sometimes the quietest power changes everything. If this story moved you, share it. Subscribe. Because stories like Taylor's need to be heard. Drop a comment. What would you have done in that moment? When you saw injustice but intervening felt impossible, your voice matters. Use it.